I was born and grew up in Bhutan. Bhutan is truly a beautiful Himalayan nation, often regarded as the last Shangri-La on earth. I went for my high school education in North Bhutan, where I had lots of Northern Buddhist friends, and it did not matter whether you are from North, East, West, or South. In the level of the people, we were living a very harmonious life, and we never observed or noted any animosity between the people. But times changed the situations that prevailed over there. I can vividly remember that in the late 80s, I was walking on the road with my parents to go to a relative's house nearby to celebrate the Sera festival. As we were walking, a white truck came along and then stopped right in front of us. The man in front was the district officer. He just looked at us and started shouting, "What are you doing here?" And I replied that we were going to a relative's house to celebrate the festival. And he said, "Is this the dress that you wear? Do you not know that you have to wear the national dress?" I replied to him that I thought it was not necessary to wear the national dress in the villages, so we did not wear it. He then asked me what I was doing. I replied to him that I was a teacher in a nearby school. He then became even more furious. And then he said, "You, as the teacher, have the responsibility to promote the national dress. You have just one place to go, remember." He said that and left. As I resumed my duty at school, there was a letter of warning from the district education officer who asked me to submit an immediate explanation for not wearing that national dress. I had no other option but to submit that explanation, but no sooner had I done that, they started conspiring. The district officials, as well as the teachers in the school where I was teaching, started conspiring to send me out of that school. And finally, they decided to send me on a transfer to a remote school in central Bhutan, which was officially 8 days walk. I could not take my wife and my son there. It was next to impossible. So, because it was sort of a dead end for my family to be together. So sadly, I left that place with my wife and my son and reached them to their parents' house in Sipsu. I then proceeded back to that school where I was transferred to. Then, there, I was having the hell of a life there. I was only physically there, but I was thinking all the time about my family who were in Sipsu then. And I was very worried about their safety and security because the situation in South Bhutan during that time was very, very difficult. I missed my family for so much. I thought about the love and the care and the togetherness we thought we would live, but that was not to be so. Unable to bear these sufferings of family separation, I decided, come what may, I will go back and join them. So accordingly, I came to Sipsu. But as I reached there, it was like the rage of a tempest on a summer month that year 1990. There were policemen and army men surrounding the village and who committed horrendous crimes like rape and torture, loot and plunder, arrest and imprisonment, arson, on all these kinds of things. So that made me very, very terrified about the safety and security of my family. So we decided to go over to India to escape from the difficult situation. But as we were going to India, there was a suspension bridge at the border from Bhutan to India. But that suspension bridge was badly broken down deliberately to stop people from not moving over there. The wooden planks that were there on the bridge was all broken down. There were hardly something to hold on, and or just a rod to step upon. And I was having my 2 month old son on my back who was moving back and forth, and I was trying to crawl across that bridge, and I was thinking, having all sorts of horrible thoughts that I could see that the river down below was very turbulent, and it was very much possible that we could, fell down into that river, and then maybe that would be the end of our lives. I prayed and prayed, and then kept going ahead, and at last I realized that we had crossed the bridge. That was a narrow escape, and it gave us a second life. We lived in India for a few years, during which time our second son was born, and then we heard that our parents, my parents and my wife's parents, had come to the refugee camp in Nepal. So we joined them there. Joined them there. We lived in the refugee camp for many, many years. After years and years of living there, we finally got an opportunity to to resettle in the United States. So that's how to resettle in the United States. When I came to Iowa, I went to the welcome center where the lady there asked me, "What difference do you find um, about being in the place where you were before and now?" My prompt reply was that I find a great sense of security here. Back there in the refugee camp, life was very uncertain. You never know what would happen to you, and you would never know that you would return home alive in the evening. So that was the kind of a situation that we had there, and definitely we were pleased that the situation here in the United States provided us some security. I hope um, it was one of the greatest joy that I had in my life was when I became the citizen of the United States along with my family. It happened after 25 years of being stateless persons. I hope that all refugees get a sense of security and well-being wherever they are.